Good morning everyone and welcome back to a new video here on the channel. Quite rainy here in Singapore, but we will not stay here for long. Today we are flying once again the magnificent Boeing 787-10 en route from Singapore Changi over to Manila in the Philippines. Flight time is not even 4 hours, which is for me quite refreshing. Coming from quite a bit of long hauls I did the last couple of months, or I did the last couple of weeks. So really looking forward on doing that. We still have a couple of minutes till we should get the boarding started. What are you doing? Let's request refueling and catering and start setting up the aircraft. So inside the flight deck, I haven't been in a 787 in a while. Let's sit down and start everything up. So, let's start. Battery on and the external power on. In the meantime, let's request the catering and the refueling. Okay, so for us in the meantime, IRS on. Primary flight computer is already armed. The electrical panel, battery on, APU off for now, APU generators on, external power on. Generator control are all armed. Light set as required. So up here, the forward door, we give it power, do the battery test. There we go, perfect. Emergency exit lights armed. Service intercom, interphone off. Window heat, turn that on as well. Hydraulics, we are going to leave them off for now. Passenger signs off. Lights as required. CVR tests and fire tests not available. Engine start to normal. Fuel jettison is off, not armed. Fuel pumps are all off. Anti-ice off. Let's turn on the navigation lights. Logo we do not need. And the other exterior lights are already set. Cargo temperature is set. Air conditioning panel we can turn on the packs already. Pressurization panel is set. And the wipers are off. Perfect. Up here we can turn on our flight directors. There we go. And down here everything else seems good as well. So, MCDU menu, let's go. Ident, that's alright. And position in it. We are standing at Singapore Changi, Whiskey Sierra Sierra Sierra. Let's take the GPS position, though the aircraft does not need that. Route, we are going to fly from Singapore Changi, Whiskey Sierra Sierra Sierra, to Manila, Romeo Papa Lima Lima. Flight number for today is Singapore Airlines 910. And departure runway is planned 02 center. So, before we do anything else, let's surely go through our first checklist, the cockpit preparation checklist, pre-flight checklist. Parking brake is set and engine fuel control switches are both in the cutoff position. Check. So, we can definitely turn on the passenger signs already. So everything here is ready. Let's surely do the thing. Hydraulic pressure system, left, right, center. Engine shutdown, TCAS off, everything that we expect. So let's get the passengers on board. So while they are actually going to start the boarding, let's take a little bit of a look at our aircraft. the outside check. So, the nose landing gear. Tires are good. And structural integrity is also good. Okay, the static ports are also good. The intakes are free. Let's take a look at our beautiful engines. They also seem good. Leading edge. Let's try and not get run over by the baggage trucks. So, main landing gear, right side. Also seems quite brand new. So, horizontal and vertical stabilizers. Okay, main landing gear left side. Tires also no wear and tear. Did we got a brand new aircraft? I don't know. Fresh out of the Boeing factory. And we're going to slam it down in Manila. Engine number 1. Okay. So good. Good morning, I hope you're fine. Just finished with the outside check. I don't know why my head is tilted though. Just finished with the outside check. I'm not able to talk anymore. I'm going to contact you via the intercom once we are ready. So, back in my flight deck. By the way, passenger signs, they are on. It's going to wait for our things to set in. So, we already got the load sheet. Let's take a look here in our performance. So, airport, we are standing Singapore Changi. Okay, Singapore Changi, 0 to left. Conditions, it's a little bit wet. The wind is variable, so let's say 0, 0, 0 at 4. Outside air temperature to 6. Thrust rating optimum, flap config optimum, anti-ice. We have thunderstorms, so I would say engine anti-ice on. And what do you need? No interception, center of gravity 31.5. Am I missing something? There we go. So, flap 5. Okay, let's put that inside the FMC. Thrust limit. We are going to set now, select the temperature of 56 degrees. TO2. So takeoff. Flaps 5. And the reference 134. $148 and $157. So we are going to depart runway 0 to center. Therefore, a pushback to the right, then Romeo 7, all the way down to, what is that? Right, left and turn to Romeo, then a right hand turn down to uniform, and then Tango 12. Holding short runway 0 to center. We are then going to fly our departure. There we are going to expect the Toman 3 Alpha. We are going to fly out to Moxib 2000 or above. Then do a right hand turn to Emirates 4000 or above. Then to Hospa 7000 or above. Webma, no restrictions, and then to Toman. And then continue the route as filed. So, MCP V2 157, heading 023, altitude 3000 feet. Takeoff speeds, index, performance, no, takeoff. V1 134, rotate 148, V2 157. CDU pre-flight is completed. Trim not yet set. Let's surely turn on an electric pump. Number 1. We need a trim of 3.25. There we go. Trim 3.25. Taxi and takeoff briefing completed. And not beacon lights not on yet. Waiting. Singapore 910 heavy, radio check.
Singapore 910 heavy, ready new load and clear.
Singapore 910 heavy with information November, request Alpha clearance to Manila.
Singapore 910 heavy, Singapore delivery, information November correct. Expect runway 02 center, Toman 3 Alpha departure, Toman transition. Squawk 50
So before contacting front, let's start our APU. APU start. I'm on the fuel pump for that as well. And I'm surely going to do our passenger announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking from the flight deck. I welcome you on board our beautiful Boeing 787-10 en route to Manila. I hope you enjoyed the flight today with us, and I wish you a pleasant stay here on board our aircraft. So, APU available, APU generator are already on. We also have an automatic disconnect of the ground power. Let's turn on our fuel pumps. And wait, then we can request our pushback. Front Singapore 910 heavy, requesting pushback and engine start.
Singapore 910 heavy, Singapore ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face southwest.
Let's turn on the beacon lights. Beacon lights on before start checklist completed. Cockpit to ground. We have the clearance. Nose tail to the right, please.
Release parking brakes. China Southern Free.
Parking brake released. So, we can start starting engine number 2. So, let's set fuel inside the engine. Okay, engine 2 stabilized. Starting engine number 1. Let's inject the fuel. And engine 1 stabilized. Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect. In the meantime, anti-ice auto. Let's also turn on our hydraulic pumps. Turning off the APU. And flight controls. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Rudder full left. Full right. Neutral. Flight control check completed. Okay, hand signal received. Let's go through the checklist. Before taxi checklist, anti-ice. Let's actually now turn on the engine anti-ice. Anti-ice, engine anti-ice set. Recall. Checked. Auto brake RTO. Flight controls check. Ground equipment clear. And the APU off before taxi checklist completed. Ground Singapore 910 heavy, ready to taxi.
Singapore 910 heavy, runway 02 center taxi via Romeo 7, Sierra, Tango 12.
So, while we have such a nice taxi out, let's also set our flap 5. So, before takeoff checklist, flaps 5. Checklist completed. Tower, Singapore 910 Heavy, runway 02 center, ready for departure.
Singapore Nini One 0 Heavy, number 2 for departure. Hold short of 02 center. Singapore Nini One 0 Heavy, runway 02 center, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, 02 center, Singapore 910 Heavy. So, strobe lights on, TCAS TARA.
Approaching 02 center.
Singapore Nini One 0 Heavy, Singapore Tower, wind 220 at 6, runway 02 center, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 02 center, clear for takeoff, Singapore 910 Heavy. So, engine stabilized, setting takeoff thrust.
Singapore departure on 20.3. Contact Singapore departure 120.3.
80 knots.
3669. SA27 for heavy, ready to go. Runway 02 center.
V1, rotate. Positive radar climb, gear up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from the cruise phase of the flight. In a couple of minutes we will have to start our descent, so we can use the time right now and already prepare everything. So we come in via Leggett, and then we're going to fly to Luben. From Luben we're going to start our descent. We're going to fly to Erpen, which is 6,000 or above, and then to Duxep, 5,000 or above. Runway 13, yeah, that's the shorter runway. Could be possible, though, I'm not 100% sure.
Cebu 628, Ibaguan Alpha, runway 06. Report ready for descent.
Let's actually try to also get runway 06.
Ready for descent. Cebu 628.
Yeah.
Singapore 910 Heavy, Manila Control, expect Luban 1 Delta, runway 06.
Luban 1 Delta, runway 06, Singapore 910 Heavy. Perfect, we do not even have to ask. Okay, now with the changed approach, let's actually brief that again. So we expect via Doxep, Lima 611 3000 or above, Lima 613 1700, and then runway 06. Okay, I think over there are already the Philippines.
Singapore 910 Heavy, descend to 6,000 feet, JHE 1011.
Descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1011, Singapore 910 Heavy.
Cebu 638, contact Manila approach 124.8. Contact Manila approach 124.8, Cebu 638.
So, almost at 15,000 feet. I'm not in the 7-4. Passenger signs on. Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for arrival. Landing in the next 20 minutes. So we have the airport now at about 16 miles out for runway 06, which is perfect for us. So let's use auto brake level 2. And I cannot arm the auto brake.
Singapore
Lights on.
910 Heavy Manila approach, QNH 1011, expect the ILS runway 06 with the dockside transition.
Expect ILS runway 06 with the dockside transition, QNH 1011, Singapore 910 Heavy.
Singapore 910 Heavy, cleared direct dockside, cross dockside at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 06.
Cleared direct to Docksep. Cross Docksep at or above 3,000 feet. Cleared for the ILS. Runway 06. Singapore 910 Heavy. So the next descent is gonna be down to 1,700. Let's already set flap 1. Ah, I see the runway. Okay. Checklist incompleted. Recall check, auto brake level 2. I would like to do the rev set. Approach briefing completed, normal.
Contact tower 118.1 airfield.
Okay, let's turn on the approach mode. Down 1,700. We have a bit of traffic in front of us, so let's slow down a bit more. 180. Flap 5. Flap 10. Gear down. Tower is Singapore 910 heavy inbound ILS runway 06. I have control. Flap 15. Flap 17. Let's go.
Exit left at H1, Cebu 638.
Airfield 2015, go around. Miller runway center line, maintain 1,700 feet. On the go. Fly runway center line.
Lap
maintain
20.
1,700 feet. Airfield 2015. Airfield 2015, contact Manila approach 124.8. Talk to you in a minute. Contact Manila approach 124.8. Airfield 2015. Talk to you in a bit. Singapore 910 heavy, Manila Tower, continue.
Flap 25. Continue Singapore 910 heavy. 1000 checked.
Manila Tower, Cebu 486, ISL runway 06. Cebu 486, Manila Tower, continue. We'll go Cebu 486.
I think beyond ATC timed out.
Singapore 910
Oh, there we go.
heavy, wind 125 at 11, runway 06 cleared to land.
Clear to land runway 06, Singapore 910 heavy. Bit too low. What? Why is the glide slope all the way down there? Versa green, maintaining center line. Okay, exit left next available. Manual braking. Spoilers up, flaps up.
Singapore 910 heavy, exit left at Echo 1.
Exit left, Echo 1, Singapore 910 heavy. Okay, APU on. Taxi lights on. And wow, this is crowded here. So we have to do a left-hand turn. Ground, Singapore 910 Heavy. Request taxi to assigned gate.
Singapore 910 Heavy, Gate 108 taxi via Charlie 2, November 7, November 6.
Okay, 107, so the next one is 108. Taxi lights off. Okay. Parking brake set. Let's turn off the seatbelt signs. Shutting down engine 2, engine 1. Hydraulic panel all off. So we'll go down the shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps, of course. Fuel pumps are off as well. And parking brake is set. Shutdown checklist completed. Goodbye. So, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the flight. I hope to see you guys next week. Until then, I wish you happy landings wherever you're going to fly, and a wonderful week wherever you are. Until then, bye bye.